Okay, so today we answer the question, why do my goggles always mist up? Oh my God. This is 150 Days of Winter. You get this view. It's been an incredible day. Thank you all, for everybody. So after a very dry December, we have just had about a week-long storm. We've got another week of snowstorms coming, and all I'm hearing at the moment is something that I've heard before, but it's something that I had to make a video about. Hi, if you're new to these videos, my name is Alex, and before I started doing seasons, I worked for a very well-known UK ski shop at the ski show. And I used to hear this question all the time. I need to buy a new pair of goggles. My old goggles always mist up. You would then go and sell someone a new pair of goggles, which is fine. However, this is why I think, and this is what I see as all the reasons why people's goggles mist up. So number one, anti-fog coating. When you buy a new pair of goggles, and I'm using these as an example, these two goggles that I have are just two goggles I have. I am in no way endorsing either of them for what they are. They are ski goggles, just to make that point. However, okay, here is a spare lens for these Radar goggles. When you buy probably a new pair of goggles or an extra lens, you'll find that they have a protective cover on the outside, and they also have a protective cover on the inside. This is one fold to protect them from being dinged in transport or scratched, etc. However, the film on the inside is to also protect the anti-fog coating that is on that lens. I exhale away because it's something that I hear all too often, and basically you take the film off, you wear the goggle, and you know what, for maybe your first holiday that you have, everything is fine, and you go, my God, these new goggles are amazing, whatever, okay? Follow on from a year or a couple of weeks later or whatever, and you decide, oh, these have been in storage for a bit, I'm going to go and get the bag that came with them. Again, it doesn't matter, but basically, and I'll go and wipe the outside of the lens. That's perfectly fine, okay? They'll then look at the inside of the lens, and they'll go, oh, I can see there's like dust and stuff stuck to the anti-fog coating. They're not saying that, they're just saying, oh, it's looking a bit grotty. I'll actually show you the innards of these, which are 6 years old, and they still work perfectly fine. And so what do? They go and get the bag that came with it, or a bit of kitchen towel or something, and they go, right? And they go and give them a good wipe on the inside. They go, my goodness, I've got rid of all that junk. Yeah? What they've also got rid of is the anti-fog coating. I used to sell goggles. We were always told by the reps from each of the goggle manufacturers that, for instance, if you were skiing with a pair of goggles and you had a big wipeout and your goggles came off for whatever reason and you ended up with snow inside the goggle, okay? Again, you have this idea that people want to go and get every bit of moisture out of there. The apt phrase here is to dab and not to wipe. Okay, so with the soft bag that came with it, you would basically you would shake out any excess snow, of course, but basically you would go and you would go and dab up as much of the liquid that you could, the snow, the liquid, whatever. And it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of moisture inside there, because we're going to get to that in the second point, but that would be enough that you could put the goggle back on and go, and you would have no problem. Okay? Simple. I know it sounds. However, sorry, I feel like I almost have a sock puppet on, which I don't. Okay, so the second one. Okay, and again, this is what goggle companies basically all design, that they have foam inserts below the goggle and above the goggle. This one's ratty. This one's even missing a bit of foam. Basically, this is to allow airflow. When you actually start moving, air starts circulating from the bottom to the top, yes, and you get a nice bit of airflow going, and voila, your goggles demist. Okay? Let me tell you a story. I went out, this was many years ago, and it was a powder day, bad weather, it was great, but anyway, we got into a bubble, and everyone in the group was all covered in snow. Helmets, hats, jackets, all covered in. We got into the bubble, and the bubble already looked like a sauna. Doors closed, it was freezing outside, so the windows were up, and we were stuck in what could be described, as I said, a sauna. Basically, I had my goggles on, and I noticed they started to mist up. Okay? Now, again, people have this thought of, oh my God, my goggles misting up. I'm going to now lift it up. I put it on my helmet, hat, whatever, which of course is covered in snow. Again, you can see where I'm going here. Yeah? Alternatively, I went and just with a thing, I made sure the outside of the goggle didn't have any, wasn't misting up, okay? But I didn't touch the inside of the goggle. And you know what? It part of it misted up. Even with the anti-fog coating, whatever, it was, to be fair, there was, there's a limit to what the anti-fog coatings can do. But got to the top of the mountain, the doors of the bubble opened, walked outside, and even before I started skiing, just with the wind that was blowing around, it circulated air inside the goggle. Voila, it demisted itself. But again, people see when, oh my God, I've got a bit of, it's misted up in my goggle. Right, I've got to go and take it off. I've got to go and wipe it or whatever. In my experience, as soon as you start moving, as soon as you start skiing, it'll demist itself. Goggles here have foam at the top and at the bottom. I'll use these as another example. They have foam inserts there, there and there, and also there to allow airflow. Okay? Most goggles, or I'm going to say all goggles, are designed to fit with adult goggles, fit with adult helmets, kids goggles fit with kids helmets, so on. Okay? However, I have seen a few cases, and I say a few, where people are afraid of having a goggle gap. Even the slightest goggle gap. I mean, we wouldn't even count it as a goggle gap, but basically they want to make sure that their helmet and their goggle are literally like that. And because of that, you're blocking the airflow. Okay, and I have to say, there are some helmets which have like brims on the front of them, and of course, I'm not. You don't need a huge gap between the helmet and the goggle. We're talking, half a centimetre would be enough. But these were literally flush with the part of the goggle there. And likewise with the bottom, people had jackets which were like almost covering the bottom of the thing there. And subsequently, there is no airflow going through the goggle. Third, I'm going to say, keep your kit dry. Yesterday I was in a ski shop and a client came in with a pair of goggles he'd bought the day before, so brand new. And he said, we were skiing on the mall yesterday, and he goes, this morning, whatever I do, my goggles messed up. And the assistant there, who was, very attentive, came over and said, can I have a look at the goggles, please? He took the goggles off his helmet, and she went, oh, wow, these are, visually damp. When you finished skiing yesterday, what did you do? He went, well, they're attached to my helmet. I took my helmet off. I just left my helmet in the ski room or the wherever it was. And it's like, so you didn't like dry it out? And he went, no. If you try your hardest to stop things from misting up, then they won't mist up. Okay, it's difficult when goggle manufacturers do everything they can to stop goggles from misting up, and it seems that everyone out there tries their damnedest to mess around with everything that the goggle manufacturers have done to stop their goggles from misting up. And you know what? Probably the goggle manufacturers actually appreciate this, because you know what? Every 2-3 years, what do? They go and buy a new pair of goggles. Ooh, have I just caught a conspiracy theory there for that? I don't know. Anyway, you see what I'm saying? These are 6 years old, okay? And they don't mist up. Okay, I haven't done anything special to them. I've just looked after them. When you say looked after them, they're still looking ratty. I actually need to buy a new pair of frames. However, if you look after your kit, at the end of the day, so many people, like when they finish skiing or whatever, they might go and put their goggle straight in the bag, and then they go, this bag is not going to dry the goggle out before you store it. Okay, this is when you're traveling and you put this, you don't want to scratch the outside of that, you put them in there. Okay, I know there's another product that there is that if you decide to put your goggle on the top of your helmet, that there is like an elasticated like pouch that you can put over your goggle to stop it getting dinged or whatever, and also collecting snow. Again, it's just that thing. If you keep them dry when you're not using them, then they will be fine. So, rant over. Look after your goggles, and they'll look after you. I am sure that there will be comments underneath this video about this, but that is expected. Go for it. I look forward to reading them. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video. Ciao.